there, welcome back. I'm going to talk about Cunk, filming a Cunk from Charlie Brooker's series of comedies that are on BBC iPlayer. You can also find it on Netflix in America. This is a parody of someone who is not very bright, presenting these programs on history, but taking a kind of stupid person's view of it. But Charlie Brooker's doing it, so by being stupid, sometimes he can be really clever within his stupidity. And he's got her like interviewing people who are experts and asking really weird questions. So it's this kind of thing is, and sometimes it's enjoyably really stupid, and other times it's actually quite smart within the stupidity. And it is telling you the story of, well, the subject is, but it's getting so much wrong, and that's the part of the humour is they expect you to know what the subject is to get some of the jokes. So it started off as a character from Screen Wipe that Charlie Brooker made, and he just wanted some characters who were a bit thick to give the wrong information about certain things as part of the joke. And one of them was filming a Cunk, played by Diane Morgan. Diane Abbott's a politician. Diane Morgan. Sorry about that. But I'm keeping it in because it's so stupid, which is perfect for this video. But he saw potential in the character because the actress kept her natural accent was very flat, which meant she could do a lot of stuff, a lot of humour with it. Have her saying things that were very stupid, a very flat accent, made them hilarious. And yeah, they just saw the potential in this character, so they expanded it to Cunk on Christmas, which was based on a pilot. It's one of those things that Brooker said he wasn't quite happy with. It wasn't fully developed yet, and you can see when you watch it, it's like there's something there, but there's some funny jokes in it, but it's not quite as good as what was going to come afterwards. But that was kind of the testing ground. So they went to Cunk in Britain, where every week she would go from the start of the British history all the way through to modern days, and she'd take up different parts of the story. And that was a very good thing of actually having her history. She tries to talk to experts and ask them all the wrong questions, and just watch them, because the experts know it's a comedy, and some of them can play along, and some of them just look at some of the questions. And basically, it's obvious they've got her asking a lot of different questions, and the best reactions in the edit. And they also show a lot of stuff, and the best stuff get in. But there is a structure to it. It's obviously a written thing. It's like, we've got a certain amount of time in this subject, because we've got to reach the end of each area to get to a point to just to cover certain things, like certain areas in history need more space. Other things need very little space, because you can get a good joke in there that's wrong but funny. So it's a very well paced show. And then they went on to Cunk on Earth, which was talking about the history of everybody, which gave them a much wider range. They could go into politics of the world, and they could go into the creation of America. They could go into religions and all that stuff, which Brooker had a field day with, because Brooker's basically a satirist who rails at the world for stupidity. He created Black Mirror, which is the sci-fi show, anthology show, basically he was writing stuff for years. He wrote with Nathan Barley. He quoted Nathan Barley, as well as also did some work in Jam with Chris Morris. And you can tell some influence here. I first got to know who he was from he used to write these Screen Rant articles on the Guardian, little booklet he used to go up with the Guardian. And he was on TV, and he would rant about everything, except about Homicide. Homicide he loved, and he was addicted to that show, even though that show was on all different times in the night. It was like, Homicide is now on at 3 a.m. This episode's worth watching, unlike the rest of TV. It's that kind of thing. So that's where I first got to know him, because I liked his columns, basically. And he did the Screen Rant, Screen Wipes, and all these like various things about how stupid the world is. But then he decided to do fictional things. He did Dead Set, which is a zombie thing, a zombie reality TV parody, which is probably his weakest thing, I think. I think it's fairly obvious, and George Romero already did it with Dawn of the Dead, the idea of the consumer society and a mall. It wasn't that much different from that, so it kind of worked, but didn't really work as a satire. It needed to be, because the points were kind of obvious. But with Cunk in Black Mirror, he has a lot more space to do what he wants to do. And Cunk is a much better vehicle for him because he can switch the jokes up. Even though he's got a character who doesn't understand history, she says, well, I'm trying not to tell all the jokes or anything because it's best to see it, but it's like, these are the boring parts of history where there's nothing there that things that other people would find fascinating, she finds boring because there's nothing there to do. And it's like, why should I be interested in this? It's dull. And that's some of the humour, the fact that she's ignorant of the majesty of history, of how wonderful all of it is. She doesn't get it. But then again, by being stupid, she can point out things about the a lot of the conventions of these things, but let's see how magnificent this would probably be like the Big Bang. And she's like, yeah, but how could you see it if there was no eyes? Eyes weren't invented yet. And how loud it'd be? How would you know? Because ears weren't invented yet, so there's no sound. And it's that kind of stupid person's logic that had to make some weird sense. That stuff really works. But the things, it just dips in and out of different types of humour because they can put her in different places. They can have her do voiceovers where she's doing the walk and talk thing, or they can do the thing with the camera running around the presenter in nature, where she's eating a pack of crisps. Things like that really work, and just point out how silly and pompous a lot of these documentaries are. So it's a take in the documentary form, because how it's like, it's telling you information, but a lot of times the presenter is making it all of themselves, and how smart I am, and how wonderful I am, and how you plebs don't understand how intellectual I really am, type of thing. And it's just trying to make you that because of a presenter who knows less than the viewer, but insists on being taken seriously, and does all the faces. So it's like Darren Morgan obviously has studied all of these presenters and knows all their tics, and does all these little pratfall things as well, which a lot of presenters would hate to be seen doing. And there's just lots of little jokes about the pomposity of presenters and the programmes themselves, and how they've all these massively expensive shots that don't actually mean anything. It's just to say, hey, look at our budget. This show enjoys, like, taking the mickey out of all of that. Enjoys just the absurdity and silliness of this form. That, again, your feeling is these people watch a lot of documentaries, and I'm sure they'll love them, because I like watching all these documentaries about certain subjects, because sometimes it's the best way to get a base understanding of a subject, and then you can start reading books about it. But it's that thing, is you're parodying something that you do have an effect for, but you also know it's kind of ridiculous. But you know, you've seen enough of them that you know all the little jokes, where the little jokes come from. And you know the speed they go at with certain subjects, how certain things are simplified just to get the point across, and maybe aren't actually accurate. And this show had a lot of that, where she's just too dumb to realise how important it is, and that's how it's not accurate, because she doesn't get the meaning of a lot of the things she's talking about. So it's a wonderful show. I'm keeping the video to this length because it's kind of like, if you watch my videos but haven't watched Cunk, you should watch it. It's really enjoyable. I'm just trying to avoid telling you all the jokes, because there's lots of really good jokes. So I hope you enjoy this video. Hope you go and watch the Cunk stuff, because they are really funny. Right, that's me for now. Right, bye.